going on, everyone? Welcome back to Quads. We're doing lesson 7.7. We are skipping 7.6, and so today we're just adding and subtracting polynomials. Alright, so a warm-up. Simplify each expression by combining like terms. Now remember, to be a like term, they need to have the same variable and the same exponent. So 4x plus 2x is just 6x. 8p minus 5p, same variable, same exponent of 1. So think of it like 8 apples minus 5 apples, you get 3 apples. So 8p minus 5p is 3p. All right, in C, 5n plus 6n squared. All right, I have an n in both, but one of them is an n and one of them is an n squared. So they have different exponents, so these can't be combined. So we would just leave this one as is, or maybe you could say 6n squared plus 5n if you really wanted to rearrange it. All right, so on to simplifying. For letter A, we have 3 times parentheses x plus 4. So I need to distribute this 3. So 3 times x plus 3 times 4. So 3x plus 12 is our answer. For letter B, if I distribute this negative 2 times t plus negative 2 times 3. So negative 2t plus negative 6. So remember, adding a negative is the same thing as subtracting a positive. So negative 2t minus 6. All right, and letter C. Negative 1 times x squared is negative x squared. Negative 1 times negative 4. Then we have negative 1 times negative 6. All right, so I have a negative x squared. Negative 1 times negative 4 is a positive 4x. Negative 1 times negative 6 is a positive 6. So I get negative x squared plus 4x plus 6. All right, now we're getting into some bigger polynomials. All right, so a polynomial just means you have more than one term. And what I mean by terms are, so in this example of A, we have 1, 2, 3 terms. All right, in example B, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. All right, so the terms are separated by addition signs or subtraction signs. All right, so on letter A, we are adding these polynomials, and we want to find our like terms. So our like terms need to have the same variable. In this case, they all have a p, but they also need to have the same exponent. So that means it's only the 12p cubed and the 8p cubed. All right, so combining these, we get 20p cubed plus 11p squared. So that would be it. We cannot combine the p cubes with the p squareds. If we jump over to B, I have a 5x squared and a negative 3x. So we have the same exponent, the same variable, but different exponents. So those I can't combine. So I know it's going to stay 5x squared minus 3x. But I also have a negative 6 plus 8. So negative 6 plus 8 is just plus 2. And since I can't combine an x with a non-x or an x with an x squared, I know that I'm done. All right, letter C. Now we have 2 different variables. All right, so I see I have a t squared and a minus 4t squared. So luckily we have the same variable and the same exponent. So 1t squared minus 4t squared is negative 3t squared. All right, I also have a plus 2s squared minus s squared. So same variable, same exponent. 2 minus 1 is plus 1s squared, or just plus s squared. and I cannot combine a t with an s, so I know that I'm done. All right, letter D. This looks super confusing. All right, so these parentheses, they aren't really necessary because I'm adding a 3x squared. I'm adding a 3y. I'm subtracting an 8x squared and subtracting a 2y. So I can just drop the parentheses. Now, if this was a subtraction sign, it's a different story. All right, but because it's addition, we can just say 6x squared. So I have a 6x squared minus 4y plus 3x squared plus 3y minus 8x squared minus 2y. All right, so I have two different types of terms here. So let's use our highlighter. I see a 6x squared, a positive 3x squared, and a negative 8x squared. So if I combine all of those, I get 1x squared. Now let's look at all of our y terms. I have a negative 4y plus 3y minus 2y. So that gives me negative 3y. So I have x squared minus 3y. And I'm done since I can't combine an x and a y. All right, so letter E. I have 10xy plus x plus a negative 3xy, so minus 3xy. And then I'm adding a positive y, so plus y. All right, so I have a plain old x and a plain old y. Neither of those can be combined with anything. All right, the only thing we can combine is this 10xy and this minus 3xy because they have the same variables with the same exponents, an x to the first and a y to the first. So 10 minus 3 is 7xy plus x plus y. So we know we are done. All right, so remember, even though the 7xy has an x in it, we can't add it with another x. We could multiply it or divide it by x, but we can't add it with a plain x. All right, so looking at part F, I see I have an x to the 8th and another x to the 8th. So same variable, same exponent. So 2 minus 1 gives me 1x to the 8th. But I also have a 7y to the 8th minus y to the 8th. So combining those, 7 minus 1, I get plus 6y to the 8th. And that is it, 8x to the 8th plus 6y to the 8th. All right, letter G might look a little bit confusing to you. But if we want to combine any of these things, we need all the same variables and all the same exponents. This first one, b cubed c squared. If I want to combine it with anything, it needs to have exactly b cubed and c squared. Well, luckily, I have a b cubed and a c squared, and another b cubed and a c squared. So these all have b cubed and c squared, so they can all be combined. So 9 plus 5 is 14, and 14 minus 13 is 1 b cubed c squared. All right, so subtracting polynomials is a little different, right? Because we can't forget to distribute that negative. So for letter H, I can treat 4x minus 8 the same. All right, but then I'm subtracting 3x. All right, and careful, because I'm not subtracting 9. I'm subtracting a negative 9, which really is a positive, so I'm adding 9. All right, so let's combine our like terms. The 4x minus 3x is x. The negative 8 plus 9 is 1, so I get x plus 1. For letter I can say 2x squared minus 7x plus 3. That stays the same. And then I am subtracting 4x squared. I'm subtracting a positive 5x. And again, subtracting a negative 9. So the double negative makes me add 9. So let's look for some like terms. I see a 2x squared and a negative 4x squared. Remember, same variable, same exponent. So 2 minus 4 is negative 2x squared. Next, let's look at the regular x's. So I have a negative 7x minus 5x. Negative 7 minus 5 is negative 12x. And then lastly, the 3 plus 9 gives me plus 12. So negative 2x squared minus 12x plus 12. All right, so here are a couple things to remember. I would star this and make sure that you have it there and always go back to look at it if you ever have any questions. All right, so remember a monomial, that's a single term, has a number, variable, or a product of the two with positive whole number exponents. So that would be like some coefficient a times some number b raised to the x power. All right, you have a number times a variable raised to some power. A polynomial is made up of just a bunch of monomials. So take this like ab to the x plus another ab to the x plus another ab to the x. All right, they're separated by addition or subtraction signs. And if you want to add or subtract monomials, they need to have the same variables and the same exponent. So they need to look identical. Just a different number in front, so a different coefficient is okay. But same variable and same exponent. All right, and as always, just don't forget to distribute the negative side when subtracting polynomials. All right, so that is it. Let's go get started on the LT check and have a great weekend.